something was moving behind Betelgeuse, and the giant star almost hit it completely. For years, astronomers watched one of the most famous stars in the sky behave like it was about to explode. It dimmed. It pulsed. It changed shape. Then, deep in the glare of this red supergiant, a hidden clue appeared. Not a planet, not a black hole. Something much stranger. A small companion moving through the outer atmosphere of a star so enormous that it could swallow hundreds of millions of suns. And now the question is terrifying. Was Betelgeuse really dying? Or was something hidden beside it changing the star from the inside? This matters because Betelgeuse is not an ordinary star. It is a red supergiant in Orion, roughly hundreds of light years away, nearing the end of its life. And NASA says it is one of the few stars whose surface and atmosphere can be directly studied in detail. When it dimmed dramatically in 2019 and 2020, many people wondered whether a supernova was coming. The most disturbing thing about Betelgeuse is not that it may explode one day. It is that for years, astronomers may have been watching the wrong suspect. Everyone looked at the giant red star, its surface, its brightness, its strange dimming, and its violet outer layers. But hidden inside the glare, something else was moving. Not behind Betelgeuse, like a monster waiting in the dark. Closer than that. Much closer. So close that it may be passing through the star's own extended atmosphere. NASA reported that Hubble and ground-based observatories found evidence of a hidden companion star, nicknamed Sawara, shaping the gas around Betelgeuse and leaving a dense wake as it moves through the red supergiant's outer atmosphere. That is the first real shock. Betelgeuse may not be acting alone. For decades, this star has behaved like a dying giant with secrets. It brightens. It dims. It pulses. It throws material into space. And because Betelgeuse is already near the end of its life, every strange movement makes people wonder the same thing. Is this the beginning of the supernova? But now the story becomes more complicated. Because if a hidden companion is moving through the star's outer gas, then some of Betelgeuse's strange behavior may not come only from the giant itself. It may come from something orbiting inside its chaos. Imagine a tiny boat moving through a red ocean. The ocean is enormous, hot, unstable, and violent. The boat is almost invisible, but it leaves a wake, a trail, a pattern in the water. Now replace the ocean with the atmosphere of a red supergiant. Replace the boat with a small companion star, and replace the water with gas moving around one of the largest stars visible in the night sky. That is the mystery. The companion may be too small and too close to see clearly, but its weight gives it away. And that is where Webb's role becomes so powerful as a narrative window into the hidden universe. Webb detects near and mid-infrared light, and NASA explains that infrared observations can reveal regions hidden from visible light because longer infrared wavelengths pass through dust more easily and can show dust glowing in infrared. So when the title says Webb captured something hiding behind Betelgeuse, the terrifying idea is not a clean image of a second star sitting in space. It is more subtle, more scientific, and more unsettling. The hidden thing may not reveal itself directly. It may reveal itself through what it does to everything around it. A distortion, a wake, a strange pattern in gas, or a signal hidden in the glare of a star so huge that NASA says more than 400 million suns could fit inside it. That size changes everything, because if Betelgeuse replaced our sun, its outer surface would stretch past the orbit of Jupiter. This is not a normal star with a small atmosphere wrapped tightly around it. This is a swollen, dying giant with outer layers so extended and unstable that something can move through them and still remain almost impossible to see. That is why the companion could hide, not because space is dark, but because Betelgeuse is too bright. It floods the view. It dominates the data. It overwhelms anything small nearby. And that creates the central conflict. How do you find something beside a star that is already one of the brightest stars in the night sky? You do not look for the object first. You look for the damage it leaves behind. Changes in light, changes in gas, changes in motion, a wake, a ripple, or a repeating pattern that should not be there unless something is moving through the star's atmosphere. And that is exactly why this discovery feels so strange. Because for years, scientists were trying to explain Betelgeuse from the inside out. Maybe giant convection cells were rising from below. Maybe dust was blocking the light. Maybe the star was pulsing in a strange rhythm. Maybe it had thrown off material in a violent eruption. All of those explanations mattered, but they did not fully close the case. There was still another rhythm, another period, another unexplained pattern. A long cycle of about 2,100 days that had haunted observations of Betelgeuse for years. And now the hidden companion may be the missing piece. NASA says the companion's wake appears just after it crosses in front of Betelgeuse every 6 years, or about 2,100 days, matching theoretical models. That is not just a coincidence. That is a clock, a hidden clock inside the chaos of a dying star. And once that clock appears, the story changes. Betelgeuse is no longer just a giant waiting to die. It becomes a system, a violent, unstable, almost impossible system, where a smaller companion may be carving a trail through the atmosphere of a monster. So the question is no longer only, when will Betelgeuse explode? The question becomes, what is the hidden companion doing to the star before it dies? Because if Saguaro is shaping the gas around Betelgeuse, then it may affect how the star loses mass. And mass loss is everything. It affects the star's final years. It affects the material around the star. It affects the environment that will be hit when the supernova finally comes. A small hidden companion may not stop Betelgeuse from dying, but it may change the scene of the explosion. And that is why this matters. Not because Webb found aliens behind a star, not because something artificial is hiding in Orion, but because one of the most famous stars in the sky may have been hiding a partner inside its own glare. And that partner may be rewriting the final chapter of a supergiant.